Sam, you are a true Scot. You have been in a number of BBC shows, you've been on stage on the theater, you've been on the big screen, and now you guys are in the Outlander family. I guess I can start it off. This is a question for all of you. Obviously, when you saw them on tape separately, you knew that you had found your Jamie and your Claire, but did you guys have to do chemistry tests together? And what were they like?
We did. Sam got to do quite a few chemistry tests with other actors.
It was a hard job. But we knew as soon as Cat left the room, in fact, while she was in the room, but as soon as she left the room, like, everyone just looked at each other and we knew she was the one. She had a great dress on as well. It was tartan.
I did. I was a cheap shot, but I pulled out a tartan dress for the audition.
Is he a good kisser then? I have to ask.
I didn't know this all right.
Fix that.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
You get some practice.
We'll get in somebody to teach him properly.
D, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing, I'm trying here, but it's coming from global, so different names. Which are more challenging, the fight scenes or the love scenes?
Yeah, we've done a few fight scenes, but actually we haven't got that far, without giving away too much, we haven't got that far into the whole story, so we've still got to get to the wedding night. Which I'm excited about. But, we're going to cut that.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is for Diana. This comes from S. Collins 01. How do you keep your thought process organized to write with such clarity and vision when you are writing so many books, movies coming soon? You're writing a lot.
Well, basically I don't. I mean, it's not organized at all. No, I actually usually am running on about 8 different tracks. I don't write with an outline, I don't write in a straight line, I write where I can see something happening. I have a vivid image, a line of dialogue, an emotional ambiance, something I can see. I can write about it. I write a line and I look at it and I fiddle and I go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And when nothing else is occurring to me, I go write somewhere else.
Ron, this one's for you. This comes from @Trisha Lidon. She says, is there a scene that you're most looking forward to shooting? And I guess I can open that up to all of you.
I don't know.
sorry.
They all have great things to look forward to. There's a lot of scenes in the book I was excited to shoot. Probably still coming up. The wedding itself, I look forward to shooting. That's always sort of a special event behind any production to shoot. And I'm actually looking forward to this scene with Claire and Jack Randall. It was that first encounter, not the very first encounter, but when she comes back to him. That's like a really charged, great, interesting show.
That's great.
Yeah, there are so many moments that we're all fans of the books, and there's different moments that we all love. And to be honest, like, I mean, we just got a new script for the day, and it's got a Hugh Monroe character in it, and I was just thinking, even it's going to be a great part to meet this character. And it's just each moment there's something great to look forward to.
I'm just looking forward to killing a man. Chase down the red coat and jump off a horse and shoot him.
Didn't you mention the wolf as well?
Yeah, so I want to kill a wolf. I'm really quite a nice person, but...
It's nice.
How important was it for you to shoot in Scotland, being Scottish? Because you could have shot anywhere in the world, which people often do, and pretend that it's somewhere else.
Well, that's hard. You know, if you're going to shoot somewhere else, then you end up recreating what already exists. So if you can, I knew from the beginning that we wanted to shoot in Scotland, if at all possible. It gives us the landscape, obviously, the castles that are actually there. There's also artisans, craftsmen in the area who specialize in making a lot of things that we do on the show. People who know how to make authentic, Scottish broadswords and equipment and sporrans and all that is accessible in Scotland. If we were doing this in New Zealand or Eastern Europe, you'd have to bring all that in. It makes it a much more complicated process. And the light in Scotland is very specific. It has a great look and texture and feel. And so I was really glad that it worked out for us to actually shoot that.
actually speak Irish Gaelic, is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
no, I
tell-
can't skip the bug.
I didn't know there was a difference. Tell us.
Well, I mean, they both have the same root, but I guess I don't know the exact history, but they sort of deviated at some point, and the dialect's quite different. It's funny when the guys have their Gaelic lessons. You know, we have I have a vocal coach who's sort of in the same room, and you see some of it written down. You know, there's certain words I can pick out and recognize, and then there's other ones I'm like, wait, what did you do that? You know, but it's cool. I have it's funny. My costume girl is from Ireland as well. She's from Dublin, so we have little secret conversations together in here. Nobody knows what's saying.
It's quite unsettling, actually. It's not
Obviously, you are Scottish, but how often were you wearing a kilt before this? And I'm impressed, Ron, that you were yours.
He looks fantastic, doesn't he? Yeah, I mean, we wear the kilts a lot in the show, obviously, but we wear the Philomore, which is the big great kilt. But Terry, one of my... Terry, the costume designer, happens to be my wife. She's just done an incredible job, and this is talking really great. This is Mackenzie Tartan, which we use in the show, and she's gone back to basics. She went back and sourced the materials from surroundings and the natural colours, the dyes. I think they're beautiful. She's done an amazing job.
We're going to take another question from social media. So this one comes from Shireen DFT. She wants to know, who is the true comedian on set?
Is it Duncan?
Well, I think maybe Duncan, yes. Yeah. He plays Mutta, Duncan McCart, and he's a real character, and we all love him dearly. But each one of the Highlanders has got their own personality, and we really miss them already. Like, Graham is just,
Graham's hilarious.
Graham's hilarious, and if you keep on the right side and buy him a cafe latte anytime. Gary Lewis is just filthy.
Ron was very funny.
Ron is extremely funny, and Stephen's really, really sweet, and they're just such a great bunch of guys.
Diane, how much of yourself is in Claire? Because obviously you've got a lot of PhDs, you're really smart, and Claire's character, she was a smart woman.
Actually, I only have two, but
I have none, so 2 is better.
actually, everybody asks that, and the official answer is 15.3%. Every year I go out for the local group of fans, take me out to tea to pick my brains. On one of these occasions, they got started on the character of Blackjack Randall. They're saying, oh, he's loathsome, he's such scum, he makes my skin crawl. And I'm sitting there sipping my Earl Grey and thinking, you have no idea you're talking to Blackjack Randall.
So you guys, in the audience, I want to hear from you. So make your way to the microphones and let's get your questions out there asked if you've been selected. And we've got some pre-selections out there. Aisle 5, come on out, because we want to hear from you. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to go back to our social media questions right now. So this one is asking, have you already found locations for winter scenes like Wentworth and the French Abbey?
Well, that's kind of interesting. We have not found the locations for Wentworth or the French Abbey yet. Those are obviously at the end of the shooting schedule, but it's also not going to occur in winter in our version of this because the calendar when we actually started shooting. We actually started shooting in the early fall in Scotland, and it's obviously winter there now. The book takes place in spring and the summer, and we sort of decided early on, instead of trying to pretend that winter in Scotland was summer in Scotland, we shifted the season. So actually the television version is going to start in the autumn around the Festival of Samhain, which is their version of Halloween and stuff, Beltane. And I talked to Diana about this very early on. And then so the whole piece will kind of shift. And so the show will go from autumn into winter and into spring instead of the other way around.
Caitlin, talk to me about the physical transformation, because obviously you have straight hair, but in the books we know that she's got very curly hair, Claire does. I heard you got a perm.
I got a perm. In fact, I got 2 perms. The first one didn't take that well. Yeah, I think it was very important. You know, I think Claire's hair is a character all by itself in the book. So, you know, very early on we decided that that was kind of an important thing, and I sacrificed my hair.
What did you sacrifice, Sam? No, but I mean, because obviously Jamie's a strong, fit character.
Yes. Yes, well, we did, I had to train her for about 3 months, and I put on about a stone in weight. I don't know what that is in pounds. 14, there we go. Yeah, we worked out quite a lot. Obviously, I had to get my hair dyed. But, you know, there's sort of all these elements to all these characters. Obviously, we have these little back scars, which are just incredible. We had to get lots of prosthetics made for that. So, just along the way, you know, all the details of the show are just, there's so many things there for all the fans. Like, you just keep spotting things and be like, oh my god, that's in there.
Dana, do you feel like you laid the groundwork for series like 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight? I asked that because she was the first to do it in '91 before those books came out. Do you feel like, you know what I mean, they took inspiration from you because those books have strong male characters, but you were the first to do it?
I have luckily never read any of those.
For each of you, what's your favorite parts of the story? Is it the love story? Is it the action? What is it?
I think, well, I think as an actress, it's just so rare that you come across such a great female character. I mean, she's just badass. So, and I, you know, and it's this, you know, this beautiful love story between Claire and Jamie, but there's also, you know, there's this love story between Claire and Frank, and the kind of conflict that, you know, I'm sure a lot of people in this room have faced that point in their lives where they're torn between 2 loves, and that's a really interesting thing to play as an actress. And you know, I just loved the character.
To me, it's the psychological elements of it. You know, how people's minds work under pressure. And I was explaining to Shooks there that I actually like to not call him Sam. I'm sorry. My son's name is Sam, and it gives me cognitive dissonance. Shooks for the time being. But I was explaining to him that I would say character defect, that so be it. I actually like to see men being beaten up. And I said this is because, you know, I like to see what they do. You know, if you reduce a man to his psychological components, you know, what's there? This is how you actually show character, is by putting people through a really hard time. And I have no qualms about doing that.
Great to be mentioned, I like it. Ron, here's a question for you. It says that in adapting from book to screen, when did you find yourself having to get the most creative? This is from Mary Halbert on Facebook.
You know, you run into it all the time. You're always having to, you know, the process of adaptation is complicated. You know, fortunately I have a writing, actually the writing staff is here. I think they're up in the balcony. They're all here. My partner Meryl Davis is here. We all sit in a big room together and laugh and argue and cry and scream. You put the cards up on the board and you always start with sort of the book version of events and scenes and dialogue, and then you say, okay, in this hour, what are we going to do? And you always try to get back to where the story's taking you, but sometimes you're laying it out, you can't quite see the shape of how this works as a particular episode, and so you end up inventing something or changing something, but you're always at pains to kind of bend it back to get us onto the same story, because it was always our charge to say this, to make it as faithful an adaptation as we could, to deliver the story that you already loved and let you watch the story that you love. But, you know, it is a television series as opposed to a piece of prose, so there are changes that you make along the way. But it's always done in the spirit of, okay, we're going to do this because we need to do this because we think it'll make it a better piece of visual drama, but we're not losing sight of the characters. We don't want to destroy the story that's there. We don't want to change it fundamentally. We just want to make it work as a TV show. So every episode has its own individual challenges. Every episode presents a different set of requirements for how you're going to do something. Because the book was not written as a draft of a movie or a TV show. It was written as a piece of prose. So you're breaking down chapters and scenes and trying to figure out what's the shape of this naturally. How does this become, beginning, middle, and end of an hour of television? And it takes a while. Some pieces translate much quicker and easier than others, and others take a lot of sitting around in rooms and yelling at each other until you sort of get it right. But such is the nature of television.
Here's a question that I have, and I know many of you fans in the room or watching worldwide have. You have the pleasure of being on Stars, which means you can take it as far as you want. So how far are you going to take the sex and the violence? I'm going to speak bluntly. How far?
Until somebody says stop, I suppose. It really is, we're just doing what's in the book. I mean, we're just... seriously, it's not that we're adding in gobs of sex and violence. We're just sort of taking what's in the book. This is what it is.
So you will
blame me.
Are you guys nervous to film those? Are you a little scotch beforehand? Are you good to go?
Well, I've filmed some already with Frank, with Tobias, and we have such an amazing crew. And John Dahl was the director in our first block. He was so incredible, and they just make it really easy, and you're in a very safe environment. So it's been fun. It's been great. It's been great.
You spent the first block beaten up. Like you just get people beaten up.
Yeah, the first block I spent a lot of time being beaten up and bleeding in various parts of my body. So it would be nice to get a bit of loving though.
You've earned it. Speaking of earning it, this audience, you've earned, it's your turn to ask questions. So our pre-selected, we've got one over there. Tell me your name, what's your question?
I'm Beth. My question is, these guys are all kind of obsessed with Outlander, obviously, but what are your obsessions, television, books? Before this came about, you may not have known about it, but you're going to say, I guess you had never heard of it. So what were you obsessed with before, or what are you obsessed with now?
I just finished Dexter. I was kind of obsessed.
Woo!
I used to watch about 15 episodes in one night.
Binge watch.
So I'm trying to look for the next series, or I'm reading a book at the moment actually about Scotland, which is amazing, but it's all about sort of pre-history of Scotland. So I'm kind of loving that as well. So, what about you?
I haven't binged watched. We were talking about this yesterday. Yeah, I got help for that. No, I think the last series I loved Mad Men.
Friday Night Lights.
Well, we did. We both loved Friday Night Lights. That was a huge one for me. But I've kind of been working on this thing, so I've been catching up on quite a few films since then. But yeah.
Anna?
Oh, I don't watch television normally, and I really don't watch it when I'm 2 months away from finishing a book. There's things I want to watch when I'm done at the end of March, but at the moment I'm not watching anything. Yeah, I read all the time though, and just everything. Phil Rickman's one of my favorite authors. He's actually got a series that I reread 3 times, and that's rare. He's a Welshman, lives on the border. And when people say, can you recommend any authors who write like you do? The answer is no. But Phil comes closest. He's got that wonderful characters, terrific setting. The setting is a character in its own right, and he's got this lovely thread of eerie supernatural horror running through the whole thing. Not much sex, but a lot of violence.
I watch Seinfeld every night.
Great question. We'll have our next fan question.
Hello, my name is Christine, and I'm from locally over here in Cucamonga. My question for you, Diana, is you have given so much inspiration to everybody here for forever. I'd like to know what has inspired you. What is your inspiration from the first time you put pen to the paper for the series until now?
What inspired me with regard to Outlander, you mean?
From Outlander, yeah, from anything.
Okay. Well, basically I've known since I was 8 years old that I was a novelist. I just didn't know how. And when I turned 36, I said to myself, well, you know, Mozart was dead at 36, maybe you better get a move on here. And that was major inspiration. And that's what made me start. I said, so far I've written, you know, all kinds of stuff because you have to. But I've never written a novel. Said the only way to learn, I think, is to actually write one. So I said, fine, I'm going to write a novel for practice. I said, you know, what kind of novel should this be? Because I read everything. I said, maybe a mystery. And then I said, no, mysteries have plots. I'm not sure I can do that. So I said, what's the easiest kind of book to write for practice? It's not going to show this to anyone, let alone try to publish it. And I said, well, for me, maybe a historical novel. I was a research professor. I knew my way around a library. It's easier to look things up than make them up. And if I turned out to have no imagination, I could steal things from the historical record, which actually works pretty well. And the next question was, where am I going to set this? Yeah, this is where the inspiration came in. I was looking for a time and place, because I don't have any background in history, and I happened to see a really old Doctor Who episode. It was one of the second Doctor's episodes, came about 50 years ago, and he had picked up a young Scotsman from 1745 named Jamie McCrimmon, who appeared in his kilt. And I said, well, that's kind of dashing. I found myself still thinking about this the next day in church, and I said to myself, you want to write a book, it doesn't really matter where you set it, the important thing is pick a point and get started. So I said, fine, Scotland, 18th century. So that's where I began, knowing nothing about Scotland or the 18th century, having no plot, no outline, and no characters. Nothing but the rather vivid images conjured up by the notion of a man in a kilt. So, and you can see how inspiring they are.
Great question.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Who's next? Come on down.
Hi, my name's Laura. I'm from Chino Hills, California. My question is for Diana. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Is there anything from the book that will be left out of the series that you most wanted to see come to life?
Well, I don't know because I haven't read all the scripts yet. I've only read up through number 6. I have absolutely loved everything that I've seen so far. And no, I actually don't think they've left anything substantial out of the books. They've added a number of great little touches, you know, that are not in the books, but Ron is a wonderful adapter, and as he says, these additional things may not be in the books, but they're things that could have been in the books, or that obviously happened, but were off stage and therefore not on the page. And so I think that's a great way to look at it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm taller. My name is Debbie. I'm from Orange County. And I wanted to first say congratulations to Sam for trending on Twitter yesterday. I don't know if it came before or after the licking Jamie comment, but it doesn't really matter. So I think my question may have already been answered somewhat, but my question is, will we be seeing anybody in their birthday suits?
Wait, can you repeat the question? No.
Will we be seeing anyone in their birthday suits?
I think the front row already saw it.
What now?
Well, if you subscribe to Stars, he said.
I'm good now.
Come on down. Look, you're on the Price is Right. Come on down.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm from Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Yes. I was wondering, Katrina and Sam, you knew you were going to have to learn how to ride horses or learn Gaelic. What else have you had to prepare that you were surprised at or it was difficult?
Well, it wasn't difficult really, but what was great was I got to meet with a herbalist a couple of times, and she kind of went through kind of all the processes of making different tinctures and potions, and that was really, really interesting. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and then you also did a lot of sort of the nursing skills, like Lavanda.
I did do that.
She does that quite a lot. She's really good at it, so much so that when they're doing continuity on things, the continuity people couldn't do it for her. She just come up, I'll do that. I like the t-shirt, by the way. It's fantastic. So you look at the t-shirt.
this great booklet from, it was a War Department issue from the 1940s, and it showed all the different ways of bandaging that they did then, and I studied that for a while, bandaged this guy up.
Great question, thank you. Coming up next.
Hello.
Yes! T-shirt.
My name is Wendy Robinson Herrera. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled that you all are here, and thank you so much on behalf of all of us. And my question is for Diana. Diana, I've seen you twice at book signings. You've been a successful author for many, many years, and now with the advent of this grand adventure, how has it changed your life, and what do you think of all of this?
Well, I can't say that it's changed my life much yet, except that I get to share the stage with people like these, and that's a big change. In future, well, let's put it this way, I know George Martin. I have breakfast with him in Santa Fe once a month or so, because at this point in time, he and I are the only people in this particular situation.
Hello, my name is Kim, and I'm from Orange County, California as well. Well, besides Sam leaving me for a drink after the show, besides that, I wanted to say that Diana, these characters, you know, are a part of you, and they came from you, and I know you probably had a certain vision. Obviously, you have a vision of them, as do I when I read the books. I wanted to know what were your first impressions of the actors here when you first met them. What was your first impression of them?
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask when I first saw them.
Oh, no, not that you first saw them on, you know, their screen test, but when you first met them.
Oh, let's see. Well, I met Sam Thursday night, and we were supposed to share a car to go to whatever we were going to. And I'd gone out to see if it was there, and it wasn't, so I came back, and he was just coming out of the door of the hotel at the time. Now, my son asked, is this going to be weird for you meeting this guy? And I said, yes, but probably only for about 4 seconds. It didn't take that long. No, I said, there's a familiar face. He said, Diana, you know, we embraced warmly, and there you are. No, he's one of the friendliest guys I've ever met. I liked Katrina too, by the way.
Hello there, what's your name?
My name is Lisa, and I'm from Spokane, Washington. I love Diana's words when you were first cast. She said that man is a Scot to the bone, and Jamie Fraser to the heart. And we've heard how Katrina absolutely was Claire the second she walked out of that audition. So what I'd like to ask both of you is, how are you different from your characters?
We like that question. Good question.
Jamie, for me, feels like kind of a culmination of a lot of characters I've played. Sort of like, I don't know if I could have played this maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I could have done it, but it just feels, it sounds silly, but it sort of feels like everything just came into alignment, everything just fell into place. But obviously you draw upon as much as yourself as possible. So hopefully you'll see Jamie that you'll know and love, but hopefully, you know, he's mine, Jamie, as well as yours. So. That's
Caitlin, follow that up.
How am I different? Clara just likes to drink a lot, and I don't. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Next, and now you're the same, a virgin until marriage, and you have 2 husbands, I'm sure. Obviously. Yes.
Hi, my name is Tanya. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and my question is for Sam. Since you've been teaching us how to speak Outlander, do you have a favorite character?
Sam, I love. And I'm hoping to say it a lot again. So, yeah, no, I really enjoyed the gala. I think it's a really strong part of the show. Claire's in this alien world that she doesn't understand, and I think, you know, this race of people that Diana's written about is really interesting. And the fact that we can bring that authenticity to the show just is wonderful. It's never been done before, so thank you for putting me in.
I'm going to take a question from social media. This is from Miss Bertrand. She wants to know, how do you two stay professional when you're in such intimate situations as co-stars? Do you?
Well, I mean, it's, you know, the thing about, we have such an amazing cast, and there's a lot of humor, and we have a lot of fun shooting. Sometimes we do kind of fall into fits and giggles and stuff, but usually, you know, a lot of the time these are a lot of times very emotional, and, you know, they're beautiful scenes, and when you're kind of in that moment, it just, you know, that's just, I don't know. Yeah.
Humor is something that gets us through it, and also there are very hard scenes as well, so it's kind of nice to keep it light in between. But I mean, when you see performances like Cait and like Tobias and everyone else, you know, you're going to be really impressed. It's a really, as you said, a really strong cast.
Yes, here's my question. What's been the most interesting, odd, pleasant, whatever, fan encounter you all have had? I know you have them all the time, Diana, but since you signed up, Ron, and the two of you were cast through this process, because the fans are so strong.
Today?
Sam?
Yeah, I think I'd like to say hello to Angela Sasso.
Tell us who's Angela.
She is the first hooligan, the first fan that I met in London, and she was wearing this t-shirt and she took her jumper off. It's a hooligan, and it was really nice. I suddenly realised that, you know, we're part of something bigger than we realised. And yeah, their support, everyone's support has been fantastic. I really appreciate it.
Diane, I'm sure yours are hard to narrow down, but maybe a couple?
Let's see. Well, there's both ends of the spectrum and so forth. I mean, all of my fans are wonderful in their own ways.
She's honest.
Let's put it this way. I have had at least 3 young women come up to me, turn around and drop their pants in order to show me that they have tramp stamps reading Nami Basia Mile on the She mentioned this to my husband, and he said, well, it's not everyone who can say kiss my ass in classical no, they're all facing you, how can you tell? No, but your fans have just done absolutely wonderful things. One of the oldest fan organizations was started in 1994 with 7 Canadians who had gone on the internet looking for someone to talk to about my novels. Had run into a number of romance novel sites, all of whom rejected them firmly and said, well, those aren't romances, which is absolutely right. Started their own outfit, and these are the ladies of Lollipop. Two of whom I think are actually here tonight. Do you have Scotty with you? Oh, okay. Hey, Marty, good for you. Yeah. Scotty is possibly the oldest lady of Lollipop, being 83 with large white beard. But what the ladies do every year, very kind of them, is to give me an interesting Christmas gift. So over the years, they have given me a grove of trees in Scotland, a bench on the grounds of Culloden House with a plaque with my name on it in the book. This year, they did something really special. They gave a collection of different things to the Fort William Highland Museum, including a book from the 1700s and the funds to restore it, and, you know, other bits and pieces, you know, maps and interesting things, which I thought was just great.
I can a chance, what time period would you go to?
I would go through, probably, probably would, but I'd probably want to go to either World War II or, the Napoleonic era, and sort of get stuck on a British man of war and instantly regret it.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure the food sucked, but that was always sort of my dream.
And any other period you would want to go to?
I like to go through the Stones. I've been married to the same man for 42 years, and I'm not leaving him.
I'd love to go to the 20s. Yeah, like New York, 20s. Fun.
Sam?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
What period?
I'd like to go forward in time. I want to go to the moon. Is that possible?
You can do it now. You can Richard Branson, I think he can take you up there. I think you can do that now.
Richard, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I'd love to go. I'd love to go into space.
There we go. Okay, let's take another fan question.
We're good, thanks.
My name is AC, I'm from Ventura, and my question is two-part for Diana and then everybody in the production. With all of the rich historical tapestry from Culloden and their time in Paris and the time in the Americas, what are you most looking forward to seeing visualized? Because they've done a great job so far.
What am I most looking forward to seeing visualized? Well, I hope you will take this in the spirit it's intended, Shoots, but I really want to see you tortured and raped.
Are you ready for the torture? No, but seriously, how many of these stunts are you two doing on your own, and where do the stunt doubles come in?
We don't have stunt doubles on. I'm really looking forward to it as well. I think it's going to be really interesting to see where Jamie goes.
All right, here's one. This is from Facebook, Toonie Harrington. She wants to know, Sam, can you demonstrate the Jamie wink? Cait, let's see here. I'll find a good one. Is Claire someone that you would actually want to meet, or would you be friends with her? This is from Facebook, from Mackenzie Sayward.
Yeah, I would be friends with her. We would steal a bottle of Column's Rhinish. And we would,
You don't drink much.
I don't. No, yeah, she seems like the kind of woman I like, strong and intelligent. Yeah.
Speaking of strong and intelligent, we've got two strong and intelligent women at the podium. What's your question? Who are you?
Hi, Isabel.
I'm Karen, and this is Isabel, and we're from Tucson, Arizona, and our question is for Sam. And when you interact with us, you seem so much like Jamie naturally. Is this true? Are you really like Jamie? And if so, how does it feel to actually play a character that's just like who you are?
Hi, Isabel. How you doing? Yeah, I'm just trying to be myself, and this character is just a wonderful. Diana's written this amazing character. And when you first meet him in the series, you think he's one thing, you think he's this outlaw, you think he's just some sort of stable guy. Then you find out, throughout the series, he evolves, and you find out more and more about him and his history. And I think that it's just a wonderful gift for any actor to play him. And yeah, I'm really excited.
We touched on this a bit earlier, but I guess, Ron, what's the biggest challenge in staying true to the original story, and for you all, the characters, to have this based on this book and this audience to expect a whole lot of this?
Usually it's something like logistics and moving the puzzle pieces around. The book takes place over a big span of time. Sometimes we're condensing the sequences and time frames for the hour. Sometimes you're you're just moving certain elements around to sort of let them line up more sequentially for narrative and narration. Sort of, I don't know, like I said earlier, it's sort of, every episode has its individual challenges of how to make this particular piece work, and how do we sort of bend this into a form without breaking it. That's always the week-to-week challenge, and scene to scene. A lot of times we'll use dialogue from the books. We had a couple of our assistants in the office, Richard and Ben, go through the whole book and literally take every single line of dialogue out of the book and give it to the writers in files. So we have all the original dialogue to play with, and you start with that, and sometimes there's a lot of really great stuff, and you're trying to pick and choose and edit and sort of still give the spirit of what was there so that people kind of recognize it, even if it's not a literal translation of each individual scene.
Sam and Claire, where were you when you found out that you...
You're
Claire, sorry. This whole time we have... Excuse me, Caitlin.
Katrina.
Where were you though, Katrina, Sam, when you found out and you got the roles, and how did you celebrate? 'Cause this is career changing.
It was quite funny actually. My manager Kim was here, but she called me, and I was at my friend's house, and she just had 2 little baby twins, and they'd just gone to bed. So I was like, "That's great, brilliant!" I was like the quietest. I just was whispering it out. So then later I went home and kind of screamed a little bit. But yeah, can't wake the babies.
I was in a supermarket, like a mall, and my agent called me up. I didn't realise who the number was. I thought, she said, "You've got it." And I screamed so loud that everyone thought I was being attacked. Yeah. And then, but literally the next day, I moved to Norway to film in the Arctic Circle, and so I couldn't celebrate because there was nothing there.
Were you all familiar with the books beforehand? I mean, obviously we all knew about the phenomenon, but had you read them?
I had not. When I first got the audition, when I put it on tape, I just got 2 scenes and a brief synopsis, and I didn't know what it was. It was just pilot season, and we just keep getting pilots or whatever it was. But when I found out I was going to test, I went up to my local bookstore, Book Soup, and it was very funny because I got the book and I brought it to the counter, and the guy said, "You know, they're going to make a TV series." And he was like, "Yeah, it's Randy Moore. I wrote my thesis on him." We had this whole very funny conversation.
Did you ever go back and say, "Hey, guess what, buddy?
I've been back, but I haven't seen that guy, but I should."
Still writing his thesis.
Really goes to another audience question.
Hi, my name's Maylene from Valley Glen, and I have a question for Katrina. In your best Claire, would you please say Jesus gave Roosevelt?
Yeah. Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ.
Okay, we've got one from, I cannot, do me a favor here. You got that one wrong? Yes, that's a hard one. Rachin Churugun? Okay, music is a major asset in all mediums, especially TV and film. Who's going to be leading the scoring of this, and will it be released?
I'm actually pleased to announce that Bear McCrary. Some of you know, I worked with him on Battlestar, and Sales, and Adventures Demons, and The Walking Dead, and it's a thrill. It turns out, by happenstance, that Bear is a Jacobite fanatic. It's like, and when I first mentioned it to him, he was like, "Oh my God, I did my thesis on the Jacobites." It was crazy, so he's like the perfect guy to do this.
So we're breaking news here, I like that. What's your name, what's your question?
My name is Janelle, and I'm from Whittier, California. And my question is for Ron. Ron, I was wondering how many times during filming have you cursed Diana's attention to detail?
No, not many. I like that. That's one of the things that drew me to the book. I love the texture and the detail. It's a challenge to then make the show you know, as authentic as the book is the challenge to us on the show. And I talked to all the department heads from the inception of the project to say, look, we really want to sweat the details on this. We want to make the 18th century as authentic as possible. This is not a project where we're going to reinvent the 18th century and make it hip and modern for today's audience. You know, the 18th century was a bizarre, alien world as it is. We don't have to do anything to it, just present it as it was. So all the departments sweat all those details on their own. They do a lot of time to research. They really try to figure out how close can we make the show. You know, there's this bit of anachronism that here and there, you know, crops up. Some particular things may not exactly be that spot on 1743. Maybe it's 1750. You know, there's that kind of stuff. But by and large, it's fun. I like doing that. I think one of the things I've learned over my career is I really enjoy the process of creating a world that doesn't exist. You know, that's the joy that I get from Battlestar, Star Trek, Carnival, for this. These worlds don't exist for the audience, and I like the creation of that in a production sense.
I want to talk about the wardrobe, because obviously with your wife, you all got some rigid fittings a couple days ago, so just tell me about the wardrobe and what we can expect.
I found so lucky. I get, you know, these fantastic 1940s clothes, and then I get to wear these amazing 1700, you know, costumes. They've been really, it's just beautiful. I mean, there's my favorite is Claire's nightgown that she buys to go on the honeymoon with Frank. It's just the most, I felt like such a 1940s Hollywood. It was so beautiful. But the costumes are great, you know. We keep laughing that I'm the best dressed prisoner. It's like Mackenzie's could probably fund an entire Jacobite rebellion with all my clothes.
It's the size of Castle.
I need to visit.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
What about you?
Well, I get killed. But it's, as we said before, you know, we found we had like this boot camp, and we found all the different ways you can use the kill. It's like such a multifaceted tool that you can use it as a sleeping bag, you can roll it up, you can wear it different ways, you have different pockets, you can hide things in it, you can
Use it as a shawl for her?
You can use it as a shawl for this beautiful girl. You can camouflage yourself, so that, you know, it's just been a joy to sort of rediscover that. Again, you know, there are a lot of films and TV shows with Scottish kilts in it, but I don't think we've ever really explored the potential of this kind of dress.
It's funny, you know, Terry kept saying to me in the scripts that, you know, you writers keep saying things like, and then they take their clothes off and go outside, or he throws on his clothes and does this. And she said, you know how long it takes to put this on? All these layers of garments. So in the script, I actually, early on, I wrote specifically a little piece that was Claire getting dressed. Like, it's a montage of just all the separate cuts, and she puts on the first skirt, and then the second skirt, and of course, the stomach, and this and that. And on the day, to do it, you know, even though you're going to cut it in all these pieces, they really dressed it like head to toe, and it was endless. It was the longest days. They just, and Terry said, when you just come to the writer's office, I want you to make sure they watch every minute. That's how long it would actually take.
The crew were like, what?
You're just sacrificing for the craft. That's hard. It's a lot of work.
I think in Scotland, they say getting undressed is foreplay, really. So.
We've got another audience question. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Jan from Toronto, Canada. See Diana in Fergus. We wanted to, just quickly, I wanted to say thank you all for coming. I'm nervous as anything right now. But my partner in crime is Kim Lovelady. She's sitting almost directly in front of Sam. And her and I are the ones that came up with the name Hooligan. We're sorry, Sam. But my question is for Sam. It says the role is requiring a lot of new things from you, both physically and mentally. Which has been the most fun thing to do, and what's been the most challenging?
I've really enjoyed riding the horses. We haven't shot with donuts yet, but that's going to be a challenge. But we've got a beautiful horse called Sleepy. He's not sleepy.
Yeah.
He's big black thing, and the problem I'm having is that Cat keeps feeding him mince. And he's beginning to want to work with her and then not me, so there's a bit of a power struggle going on.
Are you bribing him over there?
I'm just being really nice. You know, I have mints and I give them to the horses, and Sam maybe doesn't care for them that much.
We were doing a scene where we all ride into Leo, and I was with Cat, and Duncan's horse had flatulence. And he was a film horse, so he only ever did it when we were rolling the camera.
He was nervous.
I think he might have been nervous, so we're both trying to stay very serious.
We're laughing so hard, and I thought if I just keep my head down, they won't see how much I'm laughing. And John Dallin came up and was like, "No, they're supposed to be awake by this point."
And I seem very happy to get to Leo.
We're going to take another social media question. This one's from Section, and it's for you, Sam. It says, are you left-handed or right-handed? Are you fight left-handed? Greetings from Germany.
Wow, greetings. Yeah, no, I'm right-handed. Obviously, Jamie is ambidextrous, or he has learned to fight right-handed as well. He can fight left-handed, Dougal taught him to do so, but we discovered with weaponry, with the way that if you were standing in line with other warriors, if you were to fight with your other side, it means they'd be left open for attack. So he's kind of had to conform throughout his life. The same with his writing as well. You know, he can do it, he doesn't enjoy doing it. But it's been really helpful for me because to do everything left-handed is very difficult, and I was prepared to do that. But making him ambidextrous means he's more rounded and it's sort of more surprising as well.
Well, this is for you, for me. How have these fans and the interaction you've had compared to that of Battlestar, Star Trek? And it's different because social media age has changed things a little bit, but they all have very strong fan groups.
It's very familiar. You know, I mean, fans are fans. They love something and they express it, and that's what I discovered all through Star Trek and Battlestar. And you know, people every once in a while, people will ask me, "Oh, they're so crazy, aren't they insane?" It's like, well, no, they're just people who love something, and that's how they express it. You know, and even the fans that some of the biggest fans are the ones that hate it the most. You know, the funny thing. I can't tell you how many things I read over the years of reviewers online of episodes I've written that would say, "I've watched this 4 times in a row and it gets worse every time." That's a fan. So, I haven't run into that yet here, but I know it's very familiar. It's really easy. I like interactions with fans. I always liked doing Q&As at Star Trek and Battlestar and blogs and interactions at conventions and appearances and so on. You know, because I remember what it was to be a fan. You know, I was a fan of the original Trek series growing up as a kid. It meant a lot to me, and so I know what it is to be out there looking up and wanting to know more about what's going on in the show that I love, how it was put together, what the thoughts are of people. So I like to give that back, and I like to. It's enjoyable to talk about the thing that I do from day in and day out.
And I know you always said that you wanted to be a novelist since you were little. You knew that's what you wanted to do. So this question comes from, let me see here. Let's see. It says, what was the first book that you read? Oh, it comes from Says FM Car.
Okay, what was the first book I read? Well, I learned to read about the age of 3. My mother taught me to read, partly by reading me Walt Disney comic books. So it was almost certainly an Uncle Scrooge comic.
Who are you all? Have you been super fans of something? Roger shared his.
I was a Lord of the Rings fan from very young age. We used to read it every Christmas. It was our Christmas tree, and my parents were kind of hippies, and they named both myself and my brother after characters in
When I was young, I used to love like the Famous Five, and I used to read a lot of Enid Blyton, and then the St. Clair series. I think that was, I guess that.
Diana, anything besides Walt Disney?
Oh yeah, let's see. I read my way through the Flagstaff Public Library, but I remember the Oz books. I read all of the Oz books by all 3 authors. Danny Dunn and his Time Machine series, which was actually not an inspiration, but I did read them all. And 2 shelves of biographies for young people of, famous figures from the past, most of which I learned later were completely made up, but interesting nonetheless.
Rob, besides Star Trek and Seinfeld, anything else?
I was a big fan growing up of the Horatio Hornblower books by Sue And at a younger age, I loved, there was a series of books that is largely forgotten today called The Three Investigators.
I know those.
You know those?
Yeah.
They were a great series of books, and they were odd in that at the beginning of every book, Alfred Hitchcock made a cameo appearance. They were friends of Hitchcock, and they were kids. They were kids who went out and solved mysteries in each book, and they sort of knew Hitch. He kind of showed up and talked to them, and then they went out and solved the mystery. It was just fascinating.
I want to cut you off, but you know what? We've got one more fan question. I want to get it in before our time runs out. So, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm from Florida, California. I'm actually asking this question on behalf of a couple of friends who weren't able to be here today. But they'd like to know, if you were to go through the stones back in time, what modern convenience would you have to take with you?
Wait, can you repeat it again?
If you were to go through the stones today and go back in time, what modern convenience would you have to take with you?
Penicillin.
That's a good one. Yeah, the antibiotic line would be a good one.
I'd take my hip flask. I'd make sure it works. Yesterday, we did this big media event. I secretly had my hip flask in my pockets, which I haven't filled, and it spilled on the way there. So I stank of whiskey all day. No, because it's broken. So, but yeah, I think I've got a reputation now.
Yeah. It's not soap. Soap. Hanging around smelling Highlanders.
We actually have time for one more audience question.
Hi, my name is Leanne Giglione DuPont, and I'm from Seattle, Washington. Diana, if you wrote the Outlandish Companion, have you ever thought of writing, an Outlandish Companion from Jamie's point of view?
Well, the Outlandish Companion is nonfiction, and that's really hard to do from someone's point of view, other than mine, which you will always get. In terms of the Outlandish Companion, you will get a second volume of that probably late this year. As far as Jamie's viewpoint goes, may I recommend The Exile, which is a graphic novel written from Jamie's point of view. Oh, and before we wrap things up, I have to give a birthday shout out to Beth Thorne. Happy birthday to you ladies, and to anyone else in the crowd whose birthday it is today.
I have to say, first of all, thank all of you for this time. Tuning in from all over the world. I've got a little bit more news for you. Obviously, Diana's working on Moby, your next book. But when this ends, we're going to put up some information because Random House, her publisher, is doing another fan event to celebrate that book. So you're going to have more to celebrate. And speaking of celebrations, it's your birthday. We can't just end like this. No. No, we can't. We got a little surprise for you coming up. So we'll sing happy birthday again. Oh, here comes
Cait seemed to have fallen through time.
What's your name?
Claire. Claire Beecham.